We are live. I'm Spencer Lazara, MMA Interviews. I am on here chatting with the man, Gilbert Smith, TUF 17 cast member. You're hanging out there, just got to your gym there, Factory X gym in Denver, right?
Yeah, in Denver. Well, it's really Livingston, but close enough.
Close enough, indeed. So, man, you were out here
So
hanging out for your
six
buddy
times.
Chris Mosey fight in Vegas with me. We had a good time watching the fights together. And unfortunately, he didn't come out victorious, got held down a little bit there, but talk about what's going on with you, I guess, and the team that you have there.
Well, right now there's not a whole lot going on with me. I've been just training real hard, just being prepared for anything that comes my way. It's one of those things that, as my manager is out there looking for fights that make sense to get me back in the UFC. I just got to stay ready, stay prepared, and just get better as a fighter. So
You
that's
made the
what me
move
and my team.
down. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
got a little lag here.
Okay.
So made the move down to 170, right? I mean, is that somewhere that you feel
Yeah.
more comfortable as opposed to 85?
I won't exactly say I feel more comfortable at 170. Uh, because I felt very comfortable, and I have included my amateur fights. I got like 18 fights, and only two out the 18 was at 170. So really, most of my wins, most of my success was at 185. But it's one of those things like as the as the caliber of fighters begin to increase, fighting at the highest level, I got to try and find ways to even out the playing field. And the problem is, at 185, I'm always, relatively speaking, is going to be the smaller guy. So,
Yeah.
you know, um, to be honest, I don't know how things play out. Because at 170, I feel like I cut so much weight that at times I feel like my whole training camp is about cutting weight. Um, at 185, then the guys are super huge. So I wish there was a in between them, maybe 177 or something like that.
Yeah, that's part of the game, I guess, is kind of falling right in that category. And
Yeah.
talk about what's been going on for you though since the Ultimate Fighter finale, and how you've been staying active. I know you won a few fights.
Well, yeah. I mean, since the Ultimate Fighter, my biggest thing was getting back to the grind. So I was able to pick up three good wins against three tough opponents with winning records, and then I did lose my last one. So I'm 3-1 right now since the Ultimate Fighter. I lost my last fight against Brian Foster, who's also a UFC vet. He has an awesome record. So if I was gonna lose to somebody, I guess he'd probably be the best guy to lose to, which really still don't sit well with me, but just learn from it. I mean, there's some good things I could take away from that fight. One, I had a super bad injury going into the fight. My rib was jacked up. And Brian Foster never fought to a decision. All his 21 wins was all finishes, and I was the first guy to ever take him to a decision. So in the third round, I won. I was getting my ass whooped. Excuse my language. I was getting my butt whooped in the first round. Second round, it was kind of even, but third round, I was able to dominate. So I got strong as the fight continued. But the problem is, I started too late. So
So what are the goals? I know you're looking for the right fights right now, and that's sometimes the problem. You want to fight tough guys. You want to also get paid, but you want to
yeah,
also have that road that takes you back to the UFC. Talk about the difficulties of life after the Ultimate Fighter for you.
to be honest with you, it's a very complicated situation because um, you know the perfect example would have been Brian Foster. Brian Foster was a good fight for me to take. But at the end of the day, the pay that I got for fighting him was horrendous. I mean, I could afford some local guy with a horrible record and got an easy win and probably got a better payday. The only reason why I took that fight was because it was Brian Foster. Unfortunately, it didn't pay out, or it didn't play out the way I wanted to play out. But I'm seeing a lot of guys make it to the UFC fighting bums, or I won't call them bums, but people with not very good records. And here it is, I'm fighting guys with better records than what I have, and I'm stepping up and more often than not beating them. But it's a little daunting to be in this sport and see other people make it to a higher level than me by taking an easier road. So it makes me question the way that I'm handling things. I'm keep fighting these tough guys, and every time you fight a tough guy, it's great to get his name on your record, but it's a chance that things may not work out your way for whatever reason. Um, and I don't mind fighting tough guys, but now the problem is coming into the play that I'm fighting tough guys and getting crappy pay. So to me, it's not adding up to as I'm seeing guys fighting worse competition and getting paid more, and then racking up easy wins and making it to the big show. I always thought that I want to fight tough guys and I want to be really prepared, because I don't think I was as prepared as I could have been when I had my first shot in the UFC. So I want to make sure I'm fully prepared. But the money ain't right, and the situation is just increasingly tough. So
Is sponsorship a way to make more money, though, considering some of your fights I know were in, MFC? I know your base pay may be not good, but you at least able to capitalize being on television through sponsorships?
no, not at all, not at all. Sponsorships that's a myth. Anybody will tell you in MMA that you only make good sponsorships if you're fighting in the UFC. Maybe if you have a crazy manager with you on a crazy team, and like in all the angles, like you just came with a good name. Maybe if you was a world champion in this sport or that sport, you already came into MMA with a huge name. But you talking about a guy that just making a come up from the streets, and even with me coming up the Ultimate Fighter, nah, it's tough. And I dig it, because really, at the end of the day, these sponsors ain't making no money by putting their logo on your short. See, no disrespect to any one of those companies. Access TV is a great opportunity. Your name gets out there. MFC, Titan, great shows to market and promote and pull you to the next level. But Joe Blow car sales dealership sponsoring you, they're not making no money off of having their logo on your shorts. A lot of times they do it because
They want to help.
yeah, they're doing it because they want to help. They're hopefully thinking that you will make it to the UFC, and then they will get that viewership once you get into the big show. But nah, man. I make a couple dollars off of sponsorships of people that know me and that want to support me, but it's not enough to pay the bills.
Talk about the grind for you. I mean, you're a guy who you said you're going for your PhD. Is it here coming up soon? You're a very educated guy. Talk about that.
Well, what happened is that I just graduated with my master's in project management, and now I'm finishing up. Well, I didn't just graduate. Actually, I finished my master's back in December, but we just had graduation in June. So now I'm finishing out my second master's, my MBA. I mean, what it comes down to it is that, yeah, sure, I'm not going for my doctorate. I'm done after this. But because what happened is, I'm probably military, so I get military benefits for education, and I use my education benefits completely done. I figured the Army's going to keep paying me to go to school, then I'm going to keep going to school. Why not? Why not have that backup plan? Because, fighting is to survive on, especially.
So exactly, I mean, what keeps you the motivation still to stick with it? I mean, as opposed to just going on and using your higher education to sort of make maybe a different life where you support yourself. Just talk about that sort of struggle.
Well, the reason why I keep fighting and not just go use my degrees and get a 9-to-5 job is because what it was told to me, which makes perfect sense, is that I could always get a job with my education. When my fighting career is done, I will always have my degrees. I will always have my education, and I could go get a job. But fighting, you only got so many years to fight, and if I don't do it now, and I wait later on, I could never come back and say, you know what, I want to know if I can fight. I want to know if I still have it. The fact is, I'm competitive. My body feels good. No injuries. My technique and my strength is getting better. So, this is I'm going to get too old and the sport going to pass me by. And physically, I would not be able to compete.
Yeah. Talk about seeing
now
some
or
of the
never.
guys that were on the show with you do well, including a guy who, wasn't in the UFC following the finale as well, Kevin Casey. Now won some fights, got back in UFC, and had a dominant victory. What are your thoughts when you see some of your peers like that? Is it sort of a frustration on your part? Are you happy for them as well, or what's going through your head?
Truth is, I'm happy for them. All the guys that I was in the UFC Ultimate Fighter with, they're doing great. I mean, when they have success, I feel like I have a little success because I feel like we was all part of that show, and it really shows that how great our season was, how much talent we have, how difficult it was to get on that show, and I still have great relationships with almost everybody on the show. So it makes me very happy to see these guys do well. Kevin Casey is this interesting situation because we talk very often, and I could have been Kevin Casey, and I made a decision not to, which is something I question because Kevin Casey, he fought in the RFA, and obviously that was a huge avenue for him getting back into the UFC, being that the ties between Ed Soares and the UFC. Now the RFA came to Denver about, I don't know, last fall or something, and he asked me to fight on the show. Now the person that asked me to fight was a guy that didn't have a very good record, and the pay wasn't that good. And at the time, I was coming off 2 big wins over 2 tough guys. So I was like, man, this pay is not right. The caliber of fighter is not right. I feel like it was a lose-lose. Like if I beat this guy, I was supposed to. So I kind of walked away from it, thinking that I could get a better deal, maybe more pay or a better fighter. Maybe I should have took it because it seems like everybody that fights in the RFA gets signed to the UFC. So, I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt now.
Well, what are the next plans? I mean, this year is sort of winding, we got the last quarter of this year, and then what are your plans for the rest of that and for 2015 and your goals?
It's to fight and win. That's simple as that. Get me a fight, get me in there. I mean, but let's make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna dedicate this sport, I'm not gonna fight a guy who is like 30-0 and get paid 1-on-1 to fight him. Then again, I also don't want to fight a guy who's 2-7. I needed to make sense because at the same time, I got 2 issues. I got to feed my family. And, I'm different than most fighters. I mean, most fighters are relatively young. They ain't got no kids. They ain't got no mortgage. They're probably sleeping in the house with other fighters. They all, what I'm saying? They have ways to save money, and they don't have a lot of responsibility besides themselves. I got 3 kids. I got a mortgage. I got car notes. I got a lot of things going on. So, I need a amount of hours I have to dedicate, for training and to pay my coaches and to pay my manager and stuff like that. Second part of it, I got to have a fight that makes sense for Joe Silva to look at. If I beat Joe Blow, who's 2-7, smash him, Joe Silva's going to be like, yeah, good job. Come back to me when you get a couple more wins. It's Joe Silva, and I got to make a decent living, which sometimes in MMA is very difficult to get those things to go hand in hand.
Most definitely. Talk about the training out there and teammates and whatnot. I know you guys got a solid team out there that you're constantly getting working with.
I've got a great team out here in Denver, Colorado Springs. My team in Denver, they got, I mean, as far as 85 and 170, I think it's one of the best teams probably in the country, if not from Brian Rogers, Dustin Jacoby, Chris Camozzi. We got a new guy, He's a really good wrestler in the end. He's making a come up, but I smash him all the time. He's standing right next to me. That's why I said that. I got Lee Marcus Edwards, Joe Warren on the team, and he always come up with some good.
Neil. Nate.
Yeah. We also got Nate Marquette. We seriously, like, to come in here is like the best. The only problem for me is this school is about an hour out, so I got to drive an hour and 20 minutes one way to get to it. So it sucks, but it's definitely worth it.
Wow, that's an intense drive, man. I don't think people realize the dedication that goes in. I mean, you look at guys who are professional athletes who have gotten there. I don't think any sport can quite have the same amount of work ethic needed to make it in this sport. And it's just crazy and ironic that the benefits are dramatically below.
Yeah, you can see the gym a little bit right here. Yeah, you can see the gym with Brian Rogers about to work out with probably kind of far with my coach Mark Montoya. But we're about to have a jiu-jitsu class coming up. But yeah, you're right, man. It's that grind. People think it's like it's a lavish lifestyle, and really not, man. I definitely think this is one of the hardest sports to not only compete in. I'm telling you, just the sport alone, it's hard to compete. But I think it's very hard to just deal with the constant grind. Like, I'm about to say what's up to my main man Chris Camozzi. You know this guy. Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah. And this yeah. And this is his new shop. You know, Chris Camozzi branching out. He got a new shop called Performance MMA. He got some really cool stuff here. So as a fighter, man, you gotta find different ways to make a living, besides just fighting.
I know Chris has another fight coming up really soon. Quick turnaround, a chance to get back in that win column. I guess you'll be helping him out, getting ready for that. You're going to head up there. It's in, is it Connecticut or Maine?
I think it's in Connecticut. But yeah, he got a fight against Rafael Natal, which was a fight that was supposed to happen. So we're really excited about it because, after coming off the loss, everybody was kind of worried about possibly getting cut. So Joe Silva see the potential in Chris and give him another shot. So we definitely going to get together as a team and make sure he's come out this with a win. There's no other option there.
Yep, payoff of being exciting, man. You get that other shot because getting held down like that is frustration for sure. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on with us and want the best for you, man, in your next year. And definitely keep us posted on things. Anything else you want to say, Gilbert?
I just want to put it out there that, hey, if you're a 170-pound, 185-pound fighter, and you need somebody to fight, hit me up. Talk to your promoter, talk to your manager, get in touch with my manager. Let's make this happen. I need somebody to smash. So you want to step up, step up.
We're going to see you at 85 or 70 in your next fight.
Whatever I can get these days, I don't really care. I do both. We could do 85, we could do 170. I don't really care. We want to do a catch weight, we could do a catch weight in the middle. I feel very prepared to do either or. I'm conditioned enough to cut that weight, and I'm strong enough to fight at 185. I never fought a fight at 185 and said to myself, damn, this guy was just really big and stronger than me. So as long as my techniques and my mental preparation is there, it's going to be a good day.
That's what it is. All right, man. We will let you go get to training. Appreciate the time. Gilbert Smith. Follow him on Twitter, Jamal Smith MMA. And talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. We'll see you soon.
All right. Cool. Peace out. Have a good day.